Hey, everybody. So I'm just loading this in. It's July 25th. I think it's better for me to do this one live. As everybody knows, at the end of the day, we go through the top five stocks to watch for tomorrow. But considering what's going on with Walmart and how it's plummeting and what's going on with Amazon, Target, I think it's really important for us to discuss this and how bad it is, and to kind of walk through it. This is not how you want to start off this week, to say the least. It's actually very disappointing, and we will address it. So let me just drop this link very quickly into the trading room and into the Twitterverse, and then we'll go from there. Just FYI, the trading room will be open for another 5 days, and then I'm going to close it for an undisclosed period of time. I do that so everyone can get acclimated. So if you're interested in the trading room, there's a link in the description. Just click on that. You'll be able to see it. Let me get the shareable link, and then we're going to drop this in the room, and then we'll get started. And I'll allocate about a half hour to this. We'll see how it goes. But, I can do it up to a half hour live now. And let me just put this out there. And we're just going to go Walmart, Amazon, Target, push after hours. Buy or sell. Live now. All right, live now, and then we'll go from there. So I wanted to do this one live. I just think it makes more sense to do this live. What's going on? First comment's a winner. So I know, Alex, right? I mean, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Of all the names that you felt that you could possibly be safe with, it was Walmart. And, we're not. And you have so many names here. I showed this morning. You have so many names coming out with earnings. And for this to come out now, it's just awful. But let's flip to it for a minute and just go through how bad this actually is, so that people can kind of get it. And I'll answer your questions, but I really just want to walk through this. So we're just going to look at Benzinga News really quickly. So it's just a very cheap news service, but it gets the job done. A lot of people use it. So we know they cut guidance. Let's just go through the headline by headline. Expects operating margins 4.2%. But I think this is really important. Okay, second quarter, they're expecting 4.2%. They're expecting operating margins to drop for fiscal 23. So they're expecting to make less money now, 10% less money per dollar than they're making in second quarter. That's not great. Okay, now if you look at consolidated net sales growth for second quarter versus the year, they're saying that for second quarter, they're going to be at 7.5, but they're saying for the end of the year, they're going to be at 4.5. So they're saying that this number, third quarter and fourth quarter, is going to be has to be substantially lower than 4.5%, right? Do you follow me? Hopefully you follow me on that. So in other words, if you're at 7.5% and you're at 4.5, you're definitely going to be lower third quarter and fourth quarter just on average, because 7.5 doesn't get you to 4.5, right? So this doesn't really matter as far as the proceeds. Retail sales obviously got absolutely shellacked on this. We know that. Expects earnings to decline by 8 to 9%. That would have been okay. I think they could have been okay on that on the quarter if they didn't destroy their operating margins going out a full year, and they didn't lower net sales growth. I mean, basically almost cutting it in half what it is right now. So I think that that's definitely something that's going to be an issue. I think it bodes. Here's what I think it bodes for, Brandon. We're going to get into it, but this is a really good question, Brandon. Do you think it bodes well for biotech? I think it's great for biotech. It's great for biotech, and it is great for energy. It is awful for financials. It means they're out of touch. Okay, I'll say it again. It means financials are out of touch, meaning what JP Morgan, Goldman, Bank of America said about the consumer, they're out of touch, man. Like they all said the consumer's in great shape here. And, we'll get to AT&T in a moment, Brandon, but it bodes well for biotech and it bodes well for energy. I mean, we bought some energy today. I'm okay there. This is just very disappointing because I thought that this was over and it just got worse. It got a lot worse for retail. So, and we'll get into it. Let's just go through this, but you're 100% on point there, Brandon. They're the two areas I'm looking at. Both those areas are exactly what I'm looking at. Walmart sees consolidate. We did that one. Retail's move lower. Walmart expects earnings decline. That's not your issue. Your issue is this. Cutting guidance, the revised outlook, price action aimed to improve inventory levels at Walmart and Sam's Club. So they have too much inventory. That's not what you want to see. Now, Amazon might not have the same issue because of how they do inventory. So we could see the operating income is declined between 13 to 14%, adjusted earnings to decline between 8 and 9%, and between 11 to 13% for the full year. So just so we're clear on that, second quarter earnings are going to decline 8 to 9%. For the full year, they're going to be off 11 to 13% of where they were last year. That's awful. It's like, that is awful. Essentially, they're throwing in the towel. They're kitchen sinking the quarter, maybe. But that's an awful, awful statement. So the increasing levels of food and fuel inflation are affecting how customers spend. And we've made good progress clearing hardline categories. I'll disagree with that. But and then you can see how it affected Target. It's definitely going to affect Target. The comments are here. It's going to affect a lot of other names, and we'll get into those now. It's going to affect Amazon. Now, I don't know what it's going to do with Amazon, but it's definitely going to affect it. But now that we've done that, let's get into these names and start looking about what to do here. So we have a thing we do in the trading room where one of the people in there actually calls it the thingy at this point. But you take the first 15-minute bar range and you can short right there. And usually using that as a short position, you can do fairly well. So you could have scalped this already. You can also do it off of 1 minute if you're more aggressive. And you could see that level right here from when that news hit. Okay, even if you weren't sure on that news and you waited to the second bar, that would have gotten you in the short here. Okay, these become key levels to watch for tomorrow. All right, but if you look at what's going on with Walmart right now, there's no reason, zero reason that you're not taking out this low. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that this is really, really bad. What they're saying, just so we get it, is these quarters coming forward from where you are now, going out for the year, are going to be lower than where they're at right now. So they're telling you that they're going to have declining revenue sequentially. No one's going to want to buy a company with declining revenue. So this is probably going to take out the lows. Do with that what you want. You can short it if you want. You can short it on bounces if you want. But this is going to take out those lows. There's no buying here. Okay, it's the first 15 minutes. You're already into an hour. This is why I wanted to do this one live. So I just thought that'd be helpful. Let me switch the screens back. Let's get some charts up and let's get going. Yep, I see that. I got it. Thank you for saying it. You know how I get. So sorry about that. 15-minute bar. Here's the 15-minute thingy. Okay, you see how that broke? Okay, you could literally use that as a stop. You could use this 15-minute. You could actually, that would be your stop now. You could see that break. Let's go back to this on the 1 minute. All right. And you can see how it is here. You could use these levels on the 1 minute. So doing this works. Okay, it doesn't work. Does it work all the time? No, nothing works all the time. But when you see these levels, pay attention to them because they respect them and you can build a platform around there. All these names are going to take a hit on this. Okay, now Amazon works differently. Amazon works differently. You could see something here where Amazon actually bounces tomorrow. I'm not so sure. We're going to have to see how it plays out, but it's not good. It's definitely not good. It's not what we want to see at all on the quarter. It's the exact opposite. Look at Target. Okay. I mean, there's no bounce in Target. Target was the worst acting one of the group. It's very clear to me that Target will take out these lows. There's no reason for it not to. Nobody will want to own these now. Nobody's going to want to own these names. So Target, Walmart, Amazon, the one that might work, the one that might dead cat bounce is, I think, this one, Amazon. You're already starting to see it a little bit where that's forming a doji. You see no doji being formed here. You see nothing on Amazon. They're kind of trying, but not to the same level that this is. So if I can form a hammer here and flip that hammer on the 15-minute, you could have something here. Okay, this might hold up a little bit better as they read this. Amazon doesn't have inventory and handle inventory the same exact way. So this is why I wanted to do this one live, because there's a lot of moving parts to it, right? You can see Nordstrom's going to take a hit because of this. KSS is going to take a hit because of this. There's certain areas that are going to take a hit because of this. There's other areas that I personally think are going to benefit from this. I personally think names like Oxy or anything that's in energy is going to benefit from this because people are going to rotate back into what's working. And energy is going to work here. Energy is setting up to push. This reversal today, this flag, the issues that you have with Russia right now, this is all setting up to push. So you have these little levels. I'll just show you very quickly. But I would be looking at this whole space. Look at that. Look at this whole space. It actually just upticked as we're talking about it. But I don't know how much you're going to see after hours. Maybe you see a little bit of a bump. But people are going to want to buy energy. They're not going to want to be in other things that they have to worry about right now. The whole dynamic has now shifted in the market, in my opinion, based upon Walmart. Because Walmart didn't need to do this today. They did it because they know it's going to get worse. So they just threw the kitchen sink at it. And that means that the consumer's bad, which fits into what AT&T was saying. AT&T's earnings, when it dropped, they said people are having trouble paying their bills. Okay, so if people are having trouble paying their bills, the banks might not see it yet, but the consumer is definitely struggling. That does bode well for this short. I'm short this, but if the consumer is struggling, they're going to have trouble with their car payments, their car bills, buying a new car. That also affects this. Ally. So these are names that you could focus on. The consumer's in trouble. That's increasingly clear right now. Okay, that's definitely clear, and it's going to affect retail. And this could just be beginning. This could easily break this level and just be a huge bear flag. So just be aware of that. I'll take questions for the next 15 minutes on this. Let's go through. It's behemoth things can't be ignored by funds on any level. Did they expect this to go? No, not even close. Not to this level. They didn't expect this level. They expected weakness, not this level of weakness. So this is really bad, really bad. Yeah, I mean, I would short it there and see if it goes to 117, 118. I don't think you're going to have a problem here shorting. No one's going to support this. You might bounce, but it's one of those things where you're going to bounce and come in tomorrow and be up. You already see people buying LABU. I don't know if you noticed that after hours. You're already seeing action in it. People are going to rotate where their money's going. It's just a matter of time. You can see it. It's going to go into back in the biotech into energy again. So just FYI, be aware of that. You can see now. Okay, you guys can see. Good. I can't see your chart. Check screen. Let's see. Cost of food and labor. Yep. Yeah. No one seems to care. Let's talk about logging and go there. I haven't gone through that report yet. I haven't taken a look at it. I'm more than happy to take a look. It seems to be holding in there. Let's take a look at what this was. You have to watch the. Let's just get rid of this. Put this one in. Give me 1 second. I'll just pull this up on the screen. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be holding in there. So it seems to be holding in there. I mean, there's very little to say. It's stagnant, not really doing much. It's not going to take center stage tonight. Center stage is going to be like everyone's going to be focused on this. This is awful. This is really bad. It's also bad for places. It really is bad for like Netflix and all these kinds of companies as well, because what it's going to do is it's going to say the consumer is going to have to tighten their pocketbooks on a lot of these things. And when that adds up, you can run into a real problem. You just start focusing on what can make money. Macy's, let's look at Macy's. Macy's will come in. There's no question about it. The whole group, the whole sector will come in. That's actually rolling. That's actually in a nice spot. You're just starting to roll. Today was day one when you broke here. And I don't even think you're that far down on it from where you were, 1750. Yeah, that's hardly moved. I mean, what are you down from where you closed? You're down about 50 cents. If you can get a little bounce out of that, you might be able to go flat on that and get a really nice position off. It's definitely something to think about. That's definitely something to think about. So absolutely something to look at. Let's keep going here. Great point. XLT. Let's take a look at XLT. So I just really think that this is the nail in the coffin. People will take a look at this XLT. I don't have that. What is that at? Let me see that. XLT. No, I don't have it. Whatever that is. Whatever people were going into the quarter thinking, they have changed their minds after seeing this. This is really bad. I mean, there's no other way to sugarcoat it. It's going to affect everything. It's going to affect shop going into earnings. It's going to affect, when that looked like it was breaking out, it's going to affect Etsy. Okay. It's going to affect the whole sector. Anything like this is going to be affected by it now. Anything that is a retail purchase is going to be affected by this. What's going on, Chaka? XRT, short. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a really easy way to short the whole space. I don't know that I would do it after hours. That's pretty thin to do after hours. And I'm down 5%, which means I'm down way more than I'm down 5%, and which means I'm down way more than the whole group. The whole group's not down that much. So I'd be careful with that. I'd be careful shorting that right now. Maybe tomorrow on a pop, when it rallies back up a little bit, maybe then. But again, I'm just going to stress this. This is really bad. This breaking 117 would not surprise me at all. It's a really bad quarter for them to come out of nowhere. We finally see CVNN break. I just think it's too crowded of a short. It's one of the reasons, we've been short this for a while, Samara. I mean, you know this. I'm not telling anything you don't know. Being in the trading room, but this is what you're dealing with, right? So let's look at where you closed. So you're seeing some pressure on it after hours. I don't know what's going to keep this up. I really don't. Maybe going into earnings, but it should break. I mean, this is really bad. So, but this should break. So we're going to have to watch that and see if that transpires. But it should. So, I mean, that whole space should go. This should go with it too. Ally, because I mean, they're the lender. They're one of the lenders. I mean, just look, this whole space has major problems. Okay. This is down 96% from when it went public. Let's see let me come all the way over. Yep. So from where you went public to here, I mean, it's $1. It's crazy. Oh, I didn't hear about Russian submarines. Thoughts on shorting? Let's take a look on shorting that. Barclay had a statement today that they were saying, do not buy into this rally. You can look at this. I mean, look, here's the thing about AMD. So it's going to move like the Sox, right? I mean, they're the leader now. I mean, here you are. You went right to the top of this channel, right? So you're right at the top of that channel. Is that something you really want to be paying attention to? I'd be really careful here. I said that this morning in the private call. Like, I'd be really careful with these names here. I know they're flat. I get it. maybe they do rally. I have no idea. The consumer's dead. They're not out buying graphic cards right now. So, I'm not so sure what's going to happen here with that whole space. It's definitely an issue. I'll leave it at that. So it's definitely, for me, looking at it, it's definitely an issue. I wouldn't go near them. Let's just say, what's going on, Timo? Thanks, man. Yeah, it is. It is significant. So this is a really good question. Is this something significant that could make indexes to reverse? It is. This is a really bad data point because when these two companies came out with earnings, where Target came in and crashed, right? And then Walmart came out and crashed, okay, before. Well, Walmart came out and then we were like, well, it's not as bad as Target. Target's got some real issues, with inventory. Walmart's not really talking about their issues as bad or as poorly. Well, that's not the case, is it? Okay, now Walmart's talking about it. Now Target's talking about it. So yeah, this is really bad because it shows the problem with it is it shows the consumer is not in good shape. So, tomorrow the move will be find the names that you like and look at adding to longs. You're not going to be able. Look, if you short them today and then you make money on them tomorrow, that's fine. You can't rush in and be shorting tomorrow morning, right? You should be looking at the dips and what you're going to buy and things like that. That's why I kept saying this about Amazon. Just if you're looking for one to try to play the dead cat bounce with, this is the one I would do it with. You kind of got over that hammer bar a little bit. You're already over. It's a very simple trade if you're looking at trying to take advantage of it, right? I mean, there's 1565. You're flipping right here. It costs you $1 to be in Amazon, like $1. Like it's nothing. If it works, it works. If it takes out that low, you get out of the way. But this is the one to me that could rally on this because they have a different business model. And I'm not the only one that knows that. And you're going into July 28th and Amazon's not pre-announcing. And again, their model is very different. They have third-party sellers. The inventory, they don't really pay for the inventory in a lot of cases. So someone else is paying for the inventory. So they don't have the problem. They make a profit every time they sell something. So it works out very well for them, their model. Let's take a look at NEM. Yeah, I mean, look, this morning someone was talking about it, and I was just saying, look, it could bounce. Obviously, it did not bounce. It obviously had the worst day that it's probably had ever, I think, in its history. I don't think there's ever been a day where it's been that bad. On a percentage basis, I don't think these days are even close. So I could be wrong. Take a look. I'm kind of curious about that now. And no, not even close. 13%. So, I mean, I can't remember the last time it had a day like this. That's like this bad. This is really bad. So I read the report. I know it was bad, but like, this is just, there's no buyers here. None, which is kind of staggering. At some point you would think somebody would come in, but all day long, nobody. You broke and you just went down all day, even from that break. Even from that break, you just went down all day long. There goes Walmart taking out lows at night. Let's just take a look at that real quick. So now you're taking out those lows. It's just crazy. All right. Let's keep going through this. Charles, I like those names. I'm in them. I think money flows into those now, Charles. I think more people buy energy than don't. That's my thought on it right now. I really do. I like those names. I think more people are just going to say, you know what, this trade, the oil trade's just the way to go. And I'm going back to biotech. I really think that that's where people's heads are going to go. Because if you're looking at this, it's clear to me that we're going to this high. And if you're going to that high on UNG, we know that Boyle's what, 3x? You know, it's like on steroids, this thing, when that moves. So, I mean, you look at this move from that breakout to here to where you are, and it's a 100% move, right? You look at this on UNG. I mean, it's just crazy. Okay. And you have a 50% move. So it's like 2x. So, I mean, it can move. That's for sure. Yeah, I like it. I'm long. I'm actually long both. And I bought another oil or energy name today. UPST, I'll stay a little longer. Let's go here. Let's just see. UPST, affirm LC shorts. Yeah, I don't see any reason to do anything with this. I think this is going a lot lower. This could be one of those things where like it really affects the consumer. The consumer's got a lot of problems. Once this breaks 2261, it's done. And look, let's just talk about this, okay? Higher, low, or I'm sorry, lower, high. I need more caffeine. Lower, high. So you can just see that. Affirm, like I forget the percentage of people that are already not paying. You had a nice little breakout, and then you went, and now you have this. I'm not really crazy about that, but you know, maybe if it breaks that level, maybe. I think UPST is a much better looking short. This is hitting higher highs. UPST is not. So, and what was the other one? LC. So, please subscribe to the channel and click all notifications. It helps me, and you get notified of this when we're going to do live streams. I think it was smart to do a live stream today, frankly, with what's going on, with what happened, like kind of breaking news. LC, yeah, I mean, again, this is a huge base, and you're having a really hard time even getting above that level. I don't think I'd short this going into earnings. You're going to have to see how that earnings report reads before you do that. I mean, that's an enormous base. You've been here for about a year. You've literally been in this range for about a year. It's not something I would be doing. So even as things are eroding, we're not really dropping too much, right? Something to think about. Oh, I think all the retail is going to take a hit. All retail is going to take a hit. All of them, Samar. Nothing will be safe. If Walmart's taking a hit, dollar stores are taking a hit. Tesla, I have a short position on just because I didn't like the market today. And today could be day one of it rolling over for rolling all week. I'm not really up that much in it. You know, it's all through options. Frankly, I think I'm up like 10% in it. It pretty much tells you exactly what's going on. So I don't see any reason to do anything with it. I'll probably use this as my stop. I'm just going to leave it alone. We could easily come back down to this level right here. Easily get back to 755. I think my first stop was like 793 or something like that. Was the very first area you're probably going to have an issue with. I think that's right there, 793. So you probably want to watch these areas. I'll give you another one that's like pretty obvious, glaring. So 766, right? So let's get rid of this one. So, I mean, I would watch those three areas very closely. I don't think people are going to rush out to buy Tesla in this kind of environment. I don't know that it's going to hold 118. It's a really bad report. TSLQ. I mean, that's like Tesla and steroids, right? Because, you know, people don't have enough problems trading it. Yeah. Oh, the bear fund. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of poked its head up, hasn't it? That's interesting. That's your first higher high. That's not like the worst trade in the world, man. That's really not the worst trade in the world. That's not the worst idea in the world. Especially how you flip that already. Right now, I am drinking a Jocko Go Discipline drink. Let me look at Nike. And what else do you have? The shippers. Yep, let's look at the shippers. Let me just get there with the shippers. All your symbols that are coming up with earnings tomorrow are down below. Yeah, tomorrow we'll go over it in the room in greater detail. For sure tomorrow. I'm kind of curious about this now too. Nike has a lot of problems. I don't know that I'd be playing with this. Nike does have a lot of problems they're going to have to fix. Oh yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure. XLE I think looks great. I'll go through that very quickly. Let's take a look at XLE. And please like this video. It's going to throw off my whole algorithm because I'm used to doing a regular show. So you can see what's happening right there. I mean, look, I think this thing could rip now. I really do. Where are you going to put your money? Where are you going to put your money? You know, the consumer's got problems and they're going to raise rates again. Like they're crushing the consumer. Yeah, I was looking at that today. Let's go through that. I'm not a fan of those names, but they could work. But I'm not a fan of them. But they can work, dude. I'm just going to tell you that the managed care names, they can all work. Yeah, you might have a failed H pattern here. So you can see the H, you came back down again, you tested again, and you held. It's not much more to say. And you make that higher high, you have a failed H pattern. So all you have to do tomorrow. Crazy to play Google if I don't. Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, it's black or red. I mean, that's really what you're doing. It's just roulette. Like you have no idea what that's going to do. I mean, look, if you're a betting person, you have to assume they're going to miss earnings because that's all the data points you have. But I'm not betting against Google. Even what Google misses, got dropped 5-7 points. Here it was an awful report, and it still went up. And this was not a great report. So you just never know. Google to me is the same thing I've been saying, like with Amazon. You know, Amazon was one of those stocks that when we got down to this level, I stated, I'm buying a leap. I think I bought it back here off of this little move. And that's just it. I'm just staying with it. I think that by Christmas, this turns up. But, you know, this is definitely going to dampen tomorrow. But look, this could gap down tomorrow and then run. So I'm not sure that the towel is thrown in on Amazon. I'm not sure of that yet. Something to think about. Oh, you're welcome, my friend. All right, I am out of here. For those that are part of the community, I'll be in the room. If you have more questions, leave comments if there's things that you want me to cover in tomorrow's live stream, and we will go from there. Have a good night, everybody.